KEYO here, and because you guys really like, apparently, to see these kinds of videos on the channel, I decided to go ahead and do the personality test. Now, this is a widely known, widely used test. So far, it has accumulated 87 million. 87 million. Let me rephrase that. Over 87 million tests have been taken with this. So we're going to see how accurate it is to my personality and see if this thing can figure out who I am by the questions it asks. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people? Not at all. And, well, it depends on the situation. Sometimes yes and sometimes no. If it's online, not at all. If it's in person, I am so shy. You often get lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. This is actually very true. I'm going to agree. Sorry, it's not a true or false statement. You try to respond to emails as soon as possible and cannot... nope. Same with messages, same with comments, same with everything. I'm not constantly on social media. You find it easy to stay relaxed and focused even when there is some pressure. Yes, agree. You do not usually initiate conversation. Once again, it really varies. Like, I initiated conversation the other day with a young gentleman, and it's gone great so far. If it's in person, probably not, unless I've met them online. You rarely do something out of sheer curiosity. Greatly disagree. I do everything out of sheer curiosity. I'm a very curious cat. You feel superior to other people. Seems like common sense, knowledge, rational thought process has declined. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. Disagree. I think adaptability is very crucial wherever you are and for whatever you're doing. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. Honestly, I care, that empathetic side of me cares more about making somebody feel butthurt. And if I learn something out of a debate, then great. Apparently people just don't know how to debate anymore. It kind of saddens me because I want to learn. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. The reason why I do things has a logical procedure behind them as to why I do them. And if it's illogical, then I hope that somebody calls me out for it. Your home and work environments are quite tidy. I'd like to agree, slightly. The entirety of this room is pretty organized right now, except for this. Point proven. You consider yourself more practical than creative. I find practicality in my creativity, and I find creativity in my practicality. People can rarely upset you. It's very hard to upset little KEYO here. It's often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. Not at all. I'm a very empathetic person, and if somebody is feeling down, I can tell. Don't lie to me. Your mood can change very quickly. If somebody is being then I can definitely kind of reverse. I'm usually a very happy-go-lucky, curious, willing to learn, open-minded person. But if you do something very stupid, it kind of sets me off. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. Yes, I highly agree with this. If you're a very sensitive person and you can't handle the truth, man up. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than a methodical and organized approach. Nowadays, it's if I have the energy and the motivation to do something, then I'm going to do it, and if not, then I have to think it out. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is most important part of every project. Sometimes you've got to go with the flow. You gotta wiggle your way through it. You often find yourself lost in thought when you're walking in nature. I know that I don't go outside a lot. Out here, it's a very dangerous, cruel world. Like, it is a big no-go. There are cute bees and weird flowers that can devour your soul. Damn nature, you scary. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. 9 times out of 10, I view everybody as being just as busy as I am. I just like to think that people are busy and people fill their times with something productive. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind of smart. I don't even know if I'm gonna have kids, but if I did, I would rather have them be kind-hearted. You can learn how to be smart. Dreams tend to focus on real world and its events. Depending on what kind of real world and events, if it's something technologically savvy, then I'd like to think that I want to incorporate that into my life. I love science. I love technology. I want to create a bunch of technological things. I want to study computers. I want to study holograms. I want to study like how to make things operate mechanically. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I control those son of a bitches. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress-up or roleplay activities. I do enjoy going to conventions, but I do feel extremely out of place. The only way that you'll catch me dressing up is for a video. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. Yes, please, think intelligently, think logically. If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support than suggest ways to deal with the problem. I do both at the same time. I'll comfort them and then give them options. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. I think that everyone's views should be respected because they actually had the balls to say it. If it's not supported by facts, please support it by some logical reasoning, some justification as to why you think that way. Please explain to me how your thought process works. You see yourself as very emotionally stable. You usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. I took a public speaking course in college. It was kind of like a psychology tactic that if you're faced with this obstacle, the more you face it, the easier it'll become. You worry too much about what other people think. No, I don't care about what other people think only because like their thoughts are temporary. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the center. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. I do feel anxious in a lot of stressful situations, but I rarely get stressed. It's probably why I feel anxious, is because it never happens. So I never know what to do. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked than others than to be powerful. You know what? It is more rewarding to be liked by others. Not that I sit here and think about it day in and day out, whether or not somebody likes me, but I would rather be liked. You have always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things, i.e. books, art, or movies. Yes, you often take the initiative in social situations. If you see me in person, chances are I'll just be super shy, or I will try to force myself by saying something really random just to make you smile and kind of break the ice. Just think of penguins. Ice breaking. Maybe a walrus is a better analogy. Oh good! I am considered an architect. I am an INTJ -A. If there are any of you out there, please write in the comments below that you got the same thing. Maybe we'll bond and sit on opposite sides of the room together in the future. So let's start reading this bitch. Oh. It's one of the rarest and most strategically capable personality type. I'm a rarity. Architects form just 2% of the population, and women of this personality types are especially rare, forming just 0.8% of the population. It is often a challenge for them to find like-minded individuals who are able to keep up with their relentless intellectualism and chess-like maneuvering. I do like me some chess. People with archetype personality type are imaginative yet decisive, ambitious yet private, amazingly curious, but they do not squander their energy. This is actually very true. Natural thirst for knowledge are often given the title of a bookworm as a child. I was doing middle school math secondary school math in elementary school. I was learning science, the like middle school science stuff when I was in elementary school. I was always reading encyclopedias. I know, I'm weird, but it would always be about space and astronomy, and I just had this love of knowledge. A paradox to most observers, architects are able to live by glaring contradictions that nonetheless make perfect sense. So we speak in rambles, because that's pretty much what I do. But because of this, the architect personalities tend to believe that with effort, intelligence, and consideration, nothing is impossible. It's called determination, bitches. Get a move on. Rules, limitations, and traditions are anathema to the architect personality type. Everything should be open to questioning and reevaluation. And if they see a way, architects will often act unilaterally to enact their technically superior, sometimes insensitive, and almost always unorthodox methods or ideas. Let's read about our strengths and weaknesses. Hey, little block guy. You're so cute with your map and your tank. Quick, imaginative, and strategic-minded. Architects pride themselves on their minds, taking every opportunity to improve their knowledge. And this shows in the strength and flexibility of their strategic thinking. Insatiably curious and always up for an intellectual challenge. I love intellectual challenges. I'm sorry, I'm weird. See things from many perspectives, which is very true. When I was growing up, I would always tell my mother that I would see situations from 3 sides. I would see it from my side, from the other person's side, and then the side that nobody had thought of. 3 sides. Usually use their creativity and imagination not so much for artistry, but for planning contingencies and courses of action for all possible scenarios. Creates an honest, direct style of communication that isn't held back by perceived social roles and expectations. When they're right, they're right. The creativity, logic, and confidence come together to form individuals who stand on their own and take responsibility for their own actions. I do. Whenever I do something that is completely wrong, I will apologize profusely. Authority figures do not impress archetypes.
Good to see you, Cloud.
Nor do social conventions or tradition. Either an idea is the most rational or it's wrong. They will apply this to their arguments as well as their own behavior, staying calm and detached and sometimes emotionally charged conflicts. They will only be swayed by those who follow suit. Dedicated to their work, putting in long hours and intense effort to see their idea through. Incredibly efficient, and if tasks meet a criteria of furthering a goal, they will find a way to consolidate and accomplish those tasks. However, the drive for efficiency can also lead to a sort of elaborate laziness wherein architects find a way to bypass seeming redundancies which seem to require a great deal of thought. All this rationalism leads to a very intellectually receptive personality type. Stay open to new ideas. Supported by logic, even if, and sometimes especially if, they prove architects' previous conceptions wrong. Open-mindedness, determination, independence, confidence, and strategic abilities create individuals who are capable of doing anything they set their minds to. Excelling to analyze anything life throws their way. Arrogant, judgmental, overly analytical, very true. I overanalyze everything. Loathe highly structured environments. 9 to 5s. It explains it. Mom, you heard me. Clueless in romance. Trying harder in the ways that architects know best can only make things worse, and it is unfortunately common for them to simply give up the search. What are emotions? Sentiment, tradition, and emotion are architects' Achilles' heel. Social standards like chivalry are viewed by architects as silly, even demeaning. That's because I can hold a freaking door by myself. It's very, very nice to have a door held for me. But I have hands. Problem is, these standards have developed as a means of smoothing introductions and developing rapport. Propensity for frank honesty in word and actions tend to violate the social contract, making dating especially difficult. Bewilderingly deep and intelligent people, bringing stability and insight to their romantic relationship. The prize, honest, open communication, and all factors of a relationship are open to discussion and change. But this must be reciprocated. You give a little, you get a little. Is it hard? Especially if they've devoted themselves in the relationship, and they certainly hurt deeply when things fall apart. The challenge is finding partners who share the same values. Though intuitive types are uncommon, they may be a must for many architects. As sharing this trait creates an immediate sense of mutual belonging. Having one or two balancing traits such as extroversion, feeling, and perspective can help to keep the relationship dynamic and growth-oriented by keeping architects involved. Friendships are precious. I know a lot of people, but I'm not one to sit there and call Betty up every day or call Jimmy and Fred and Ted and all these people up every day. I don't even know these people. But when I find somebody that is worth talking to, worth communicating with, I do cherish that friendship. We're gonna skip over parenthood. Few personality types are as mysterious and controversial as architects. Possessing intelligent and strategic thinking that allow them to overcome many challenging obstacles, architects have the ability to both develop and implement a plan for everything, including their own personal growth. The architects you may know, this was the last thing that I wanted to show you guys, which is like Christopher Nolan, Elon Musk, dude, SpaceX, dude. We got Arnold, Vladimir Putin, Frederick, very awesome, Professor Moriarty. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about my personality. A lot of this should be taken with a grain of salt. It's kind of like a horoscope. They should just be taken with a grain of salt, not taken too personally, not taken seriously, but this kind of describes me spot on. You guys should know, like through my videos, I'm very cynical, I'm very sarcastic, but I'm very lively and open and caring too. I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about me, and if you have any further questions, maybe you can take the test and see if we're compatible friends. If you did like what you saw in the video, then definitely click that thumbs up button for me. I'm always here making videos, and I'm always here willing to share and create a topic that we can all discuss further, have an open debate, if you will. I would like to learn your opinions, so you can write those in the comment section below. I will then give you more of my opinions, and we can have a nice, polite, open, airy conversation about it. Until the next time, I will definitely see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I do put out videos all the time. I will see you guys then.